going to be something very different in the sense that I'm not going to lecture to you or use a PPT and things like this. No, I don't do that. But I'll talk to you about various things and so on. First of all, welcome to all of you to this very important faculty development program. Been doing it for many years. And in this particular context, today I want to tell you that in these two sessions of mine, this one and the next one, these are very open sessions. I will take you through certain major features that we must possess as teachers. I know you come from various backgrounds. And so I will introduce you to quite a few things that you need to know in general, but they're all education specific features, things that all teachers all over the world should know. And so I'll take you through some of them. Number one. Number two, this is an open session. You can unmute yourself anytime you feel like it. You can unmute, you can talk to me. You can ask me a question. You can tell me your own experience. You can share anecdotes, whatever you like. And at the same time, you can certainly respond in whatever way you want and whenever you want. I won't stop you. Just put up your hand and unmute and talk. And we will talk. And I would like you to talk. I'll be very happy if you talk. Okay? So don't sit silently. You should not in this afternoon. Otherwise, we'll fall asleep after 5 minutes. So keep awake and do talk to me and keep talking to me. Okay. So here are certain things that all of you should be aware of. In other words, this is an awareness building session where we get to learn quite a few things related to our profession, which is teaching. Now, I'm sure you may know quite a few things, but that doesn't matter. What we know, we will reinforce, and what we don't know, certain new things, we will understand them. I'll help you. Don't go without total understanding of what we are saying. You must understand everything that I say. That's why I said, ask questions, clarify, seek your clarification, do all those things, and I'll be most happy to do that. So I said, this is a very open session, and all of you are invited to participate, enjoy participating, asking questions, and so on. So there we go. So shall we start? Good. Now, one of the first things, and I'll be introducing you to quite a few concepts, theories, and terminology, maybe definitions also, but I'll introduce you to quite a few of these things, and you must know them for your own professional development. Number one, I want all of you to understand the word pedagogy. Pedagogy, P-E-D-A-G-O-G-Y. Keep your notes and pencils ready, and do make a note of some of these terms. You won't get them anywhere. Nobody will talk to you about these things. Pedagogy is the act of teaching. all teaching is pedagogy. So we are masters of pedagogy. Our job is pedagogy. So we are called pedagogue. Pedagogue, G-O-G-U-E. So we are all pedagogues. Teaching is our job. Now, there are quite a few questions, such as, for example, is teaching a profession? Being a bank manager could be a profession. Doctor could be a profession. Engineer could be a profession. Do you think teaching is a profession? Is it? Anybody? Is it a profession? Anybody thinks it's a profession? All of you? Yes or no?
No, sir.
Yeah. Tell me, is it? Yeah.
Sir, I think it is more of a service
Uh-huh.
than a profession. I mean,
Good.
according to me.
Excellent. Well said. Very well said, ma'am. Very nice. Good. Anybody else who wants to react? Is it a profession? Or as ma'am says, is it a Kriti, as Kriti ma'am says, is it a service?
It's a profession, sir.
It's a profession. Tell me, Ravi, how do you say it's a profession?
So profession means it has something special skills involved.
Good. Good.
So a teacher, as a professor or anything, I have some special skill to teach the student. A normal person can also teach. But if I use some tools or some techniques, so
Good.
then I
Well
think
said.
that I'm also a profession in teacher.
Very
teaching.
well said. Very well said, Ravi. That's
Well,
very good. Anybody else? Anybody can react. Is it a profession, or as Kriti says, is it a service?
Sir, I feel that it is more like profession because we as a professors, we have some mental skills which we inculcate in students.
Excellent.
We transfer it.
Good. Very
So
good,
I feel
Bindu.
it's
Very
profession.
nice. Good. Very good. We have some special skills and that we want to transfer to our students, and therefore it is a profession because it has its own, as Ravi said, it has its own methodology and things like this. Very good. Very well said. Very well said. Anybody else?
Yes, sir. When we are going to define profession, it's required some of the qualification.
Good. Good.
So we have to call as a, so that's what the reason we can say that this is a profession. It's required intellectual skills as well as qualification.
Good.
So in conclusion, we can say that it is profession and service also.
And service also. Good. Very good. You are very diplomatic, Anil. Very nice. Good. Good. It has certain skills, skill sets, and therefore it has certain expectations. Expectations of performance. Good. Very well said. And of course, it is in a way, it is also like a doctor or like anybody else. We are also doing a certain kind of service. So accept it. Very good. Good. All right. So let's say that essentially teaching or pedagogy is a profession. Teaching is a profession and it involves many things. In fact, it's a very complex profession. Why is it complex? How is it complex? We'll come to that very soon. But it is a complex profession. I want to say it's a complex profession. Do you think it's a complex profession? It's a complex one. It's a very complex one. Anybody thinks it is complex? Or is it simple? Can be easily managed. Anybody? Is it complex? Can it be complex? Yes, Bindu?
yes, sir.
Sir, I feel that it is very complex because we are dealing with the students and we need to inculcate so many things in the growing mindsets.
Good.
So
Very
it's not an easy job.
Very good. We are dealing with students and it's not easy. And we have to inculcate so many things in the students, and therefore it is not an easy job. Very good. Sir wanted to say something? Yeah?
Yes, sir.
Yeah. Yeah.
Sir, it's a complex when we not train better. But it's so simple when we get trained better.
Good. Very good. Very good. Very good, Jaina. Very well said. It's a complex, because Jaina says something very important. It's a profession which requires training, preparation. And therefore, this is a kind of job where, you know, that kind of preparation, that kind of training is also required. And therefore, you see, it is complex because one has to acquire all these things. Good. Very well said. Yes, somebody else? Yeah.
Students with a diverse mindset and diverse with different mindsets and different
Good. Good. Very good.
contributes to their learning. So
Very good. Good.
we must satisfy their needs in our
Absolutely.
teaching and behavior.
Very nice.
So-
Very well said. Very. Unmute yourself so that I can see you. Good. Very good, man. Very well said. All that you said was very good, because what you said was that we are dealing with children, and children are very diverse. They have diverse minds, and therefore dealing with that and inculcating all the skills and other abilities in them is a very complex job. Very well said. Very well said. Basically, remember, we are dealing with human beings. And human beings are very complex. And because human beings are complex, and their complexity comes from so many features, so many factors, environmental factors, family factors, learning factors, learning abilities, and so on and so forth, so many things. And therefore, you see, very well said, ma'am, that teaching is a very complex job. How do we define this complexity? How shall we understand this complexity? You know, in the sense that there must be some way in which we should be able to say one or two things about this teaching. For example, supposing I say that there are certain factors which are very important in teaching. Understand this. You can make a note of this. For example, take a look at this. We have the teacher on the top, and we have the learner at one corner, and we have the classroom at the end, another end. This is what we call triangulation. You know, using a triangle. This is a very simple diagram. What it means is, supposing I eliminate the teacher, no teacher. There is only a classroom and there are learners sitting inside, no teacher. Possible? Difficult, isn't it? There is a teacher and there is a classroom, but no learners. No learners. Teacher goes to the classroom and there are no learners. Possible? There is a teacher and a learner, but no classroom. Classroom being a concept, a space where everybody sits and learns. In a similar fashion, there is a second one. Take a look at the second one. In the second one, we have a curriculum on the top. Then we have courses. Then we have our teaching materials. Another triangulation. Can we eliminate a situation where there are courses and teaching materials, but no curriculum? Difficult. There has to be a plan. There is a curriculum and there are teaching materials. All of them are ready, but there are no courses to teach. I hope you are making a note of these things. These are very critical issues. And one of those last things, for example, is what we talk of, for example, teaching, learning, and testing or assessment. There is teaching, there is learning, and there is testing, another triangle. Supposing there is a learning and testing, but no teaching at all, self-learning. Or there is teaching and there is testing, but there is no learning at all. Or there is teaching and testing, but no teaching and learning, no testing at all. No tests. Just go on doing whatever you want. In other words, these are what we call compulsive triangulations. Compulsive in the sense that you cannot do without them. You have to have them with you whenever you think of your classroom and so on. So therefore, we think of these triangulation in our first assessment. Ladies and gentlemen, why are we discussing this? When you go to your field, wherever you're working, whatever your subject is, you will certainly need all the three factors that we presented in all the three triangles. Check it first. Make sure that there is a teacher. You are there. Make sure that there are learners. Make sure that there is teaching. Make sure that there is a curriculum which you would like to follow. And along with curriculum, there should be courses of study. And there should be teaching materials. You need text materials which you can use in order to teach. Anybody wants to comment on this? Any comments? Is this sensible? Is this proper? Can we talk about it? Is this important? Anybody? Any reaction? Anybody? Talk about it. Talk. Because these are the ones you're going to, face when you go to your field, or you may have already faced. Are these important?
Yes, sir, of course it is important because whenever we are teaching, all the things you mentioned as a compulsive triangulations, everything are very, very important.
Very important. Yeah, thank you, Bindu. Very good. Yes, they are very, very important when we actually go to teach. Anybody else? Reaction?
So
Any other reaction? Yeah.
Am I audible, sir?
Yes, you are. Yes, Ramya. Go ahead.
And of course, they are very much interrelated, sir. So you cannot go without missing out on something
excellent
among the triangle.
Yeah, I must thank you, Ramya, because I didn't use the word interrelated. You have used it, and I thank you for that.
Thank you.
To use it. Very well said, ma'am. Yeah, they are interrelated because without one, the other can't function. Absolutely. Good. Anybody else? Good. 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 Anyone else? Yeah. Go on.
Sir, we cannot imagine teaching process without these three components, sir.
Good, Ravi. Yeah. Good. We are in the open field. Can you hear me? You're in an open area. Can you still hear me?
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Yes, sir. I can hear you, sir.
Oh, how nice. Okay, very good. Yes, Ravi. Yeah, they are interrelated. They are intertwined, and they are together all the time. And this is another factor. Whatever I'm saying today, whatever I'm going to tell you now, one after the other, I've talked about triangulation. These are features which you will observe when you go to teach in your field. wherever you go to field, wherever you go to teach, wherever you go to teach, whenever you start teaching, observe some of these things. In other words, we want to make sure that these factors have been taken care of where I'm going to teach. I must have a curriculum. I must have a very clear course. I must have a clear set of teaching materials. It's very difficult for me to go inside the classroom without teaching materials. No, it's very difficult. Then I must have all the other things and things like this. Very good. Very good. Okay. Let's move one step further. When we talk of a teacher, who is a teacher? By this we mean there can be two types of teachers. Number one, a fresh, untrained, uninitiated teacher. Done the degree or the post-graduation or whatever, and entered the profession. And the second type is the opposite. This person is trained, like all of you, experienced, like you, and qualified. Now, can there be some difference between type 1 and type 2 teachers? Did you find it when you entered the profession? Yes or no? No, it was all right. Smooth walk. Anybody? Would you agree that there can be two types of teachers? Anybody? Anyone wants to react? Talk. I'm giving you plenty of chances to talk. Go on talking. Say whatever you like.
Sir,
You must have known. Yeah. Go on, Ramya. Yeah.
What exactly do you mean by uninitiated teachers?
Uninitiated.
Teachers who were
Someone.
teacher due to compulsion?
Never done any teaching at all. One has just stepped into teaching. Mind you, all of you, you're all parents and parents also. When you look at your children and their schools and their teachers there in the schools, you might find such teachers in schools. In other words, as professionals, we are all professionals. And by the way, the course you're doing here right now with me and with other teachers and so on and so forth is a professional training program. So in other words, we are getting lots of information about our profession. Now, as part of being professional, we are asking two questions. Can there be teacher type 1, no experience, fresh, etc., or can there be teacher type 2, experienced, has done courses, has enough knowledge about teaching and so on? Is there a big difference between the two? Is there a big difference? Ramya, is there a difference? Will there be a difference or not?
Definitely, sir. There will be a difference.
I mean, like what I want you to do is I want to think of where you are teaching. Go back to where you are teaching, where you have been posted or going to be posted or whatever it is. Who are you going to teach? And therefore, there can a very fresh, untrained, uninitiated teacher, how would be that teacher performing there, functioning there, as opposed to somebody who is trained, who has experience, performing in such a situation where you are teaching. This is what I want you to think. Think very critically. Does it make a difference? Yeah? Anybody? Anybody wants to react?
Definitely make a difference.
Definitely makes a difference, yeah. Yeah.
In terms of output.
Yep, in terms of output. Well said, Jayana. Very well said, yeah. Look at yourselves. Look at yourselves. How would you have performed Had you had no training, no nothing at all, and just jumped into the profession without any initiation? So this is the second factor we are discussing. First one was triangulation, and now we have moved into the second factor, which is related to the teachers. Now, when we think of our teaching, I'm going to say something which you must think about. Now, as we said some time ago, teaching is a very complex profession because we are dealing with humans. Now, the critical question that I want you to ask is, who are we? We are also humans. And therefore, when we think of classrooms, we talk of 4 things. And I want you to make a note of it. Number 1, we talk of what we may call teacher issues. And related to that is number 2, which is teaching issues. Teacher issues and teaching issues. In a similar manner, number 3 is learner issues. And number 4, learning issues. One small information for you. We have stopped using the word student. We don't use it. I try not to use it unless it is required. We have started using the word learner, and we have been using it for about 30, 40 years now. So I use the word learner. Okay. So can there be teacher issues? Can I, Rajagopal, Jayana, Ramya, Bindu, can I have some problems? Yeah?
Yes, sir.
Yes. Possible. It could be. Give me some examples, Kritik, for example.
Sir, some of us might have some temperament issues, for
Absolutely.
example.
Very good. It could be an emotional, temperamental issue. My
Yes, sir.
upbringing, probably. I don't know.
Yes.
My atmosphere, where I grow or where I survive.
Yes.
Good.
So we might be very confident with the topic, but unable to deliver it.
Excellent. 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 We may know our subject matter very well, but we may not know how to transfer my knowledge to the learners. I may not know how to do it. I may not know how to give appropriate examples, explanations, and so on. I may not know how to make sure that the learners have learned whatever I was doing with them. Very important. Very well said, Ramya. Good. Teacher issues.
Sir, and we might
Sir,
be qualified with our subject, but we might fail to simplify to this to whatever the
Very
learner's
good.
level.
Extremely well said, Bindu. Extremely well said. I may know my subject very well. I'm very thorough with it. All the theories, all the practicals, all the words, terminology, definitions, formula, everything I know. But how do we make it available to my children who are in the classroom? They are not me. I have to make sure that they get all that information. And how do I simplify? Very good word you used. How do I simplify? How do I bring it down to their level? I should know that also, which is part of teaching issues. So there can be teacher issues because teacher is also a human being. So there can be personality issues, and as Kriti said, emotional issues, temperamental issues, and so on and so forth, professional issues, this, that, and so on. So teachers, there can be a number of teachers' issues also. And similarly, as Bindu said, there can be teaching issues also. Rami also said this, that when I perform in the classroom, my performance has to be okay, but it may not be okay. So I may have teaching issues. Can learners have issues?
Yes, sir. They may get easily distracted
Very
in the
good.
class. So maintaining that kind of focus
Very
can be
nice.
an issue.
Very nice, very nice. And mind you, when all of you teach at the junior college level and +2, +1, no, +2, +1, and then going to your undergraduate level teaching, our children are all 16 plus, 17 plus. They're in the other half of the teenage stage, and they can have many problems. There can be many learner issues. Very well said, Kriti. Very good, very good. When we compare our own children at home, they are very small children, but compare them with the children in the school, college. Oh my God, so big. They are bigger than many of us, and so on. Yeah, there can be a lot of learner issues. Can there be learning issues?
Of course, yes, sir. Because the capability of the students differs from learners to learners.
Good, very
So
good.
the way they receive the information and process it,
Very good.
it takes time.
Very good. There can be differences. We call it learner differences. So there can be differences among learners, and the way they receive information can vary from person to person, from learner to learner. Good. This could be one major issue. Any other issues?
Sir, I'm working
basic knowledge, sir.
Sorry, Amrita, just a minute. Amrita, please.
Sir, I'm working in a rural area. The students find very difficult to learn English, sir, because they are the first generation of in their family to learn English. So it's also a learning issue, sir. They are not getting enough academic support from their parents.
Very nice. And therefore, they can have learner issues also. Because of the learning issue, they can't learn English, and therefore they can have other problems also, personality problems. They can get angry with you also. So there can be many other factors and so on. Good. Somebody else wanted to say something? Yeah, good. Good.
Lack of basic knowledge, sir.
Very good. Very good. Very good. Very good. Lack of basic knowledge, Jaina. Very well said. Very well said. Very valid point. They may lack basic knowledge of the subject itself. What we call, and I want you to remember some of these very important professional words, previous learning. In their previous learning stages, what kind of input they have had. Your own word, Jaina. How much have they received? And how well have they received it? And how well have they absorbed it? So, previous knowledge could be a very major thing. In other words, as you said very well, there could be some problem with not knowing.
There is a major learner issue, sir.
Yes, Sindhu. Yeah. Say it again.
So there is one major learner issue. That is students join courses without goal.
Couldn't
course, and many of them they are not interested in that course, but for some reasons they will be in that course.
Excellent, Sindhu. Very well said.
I observed examples of such issues. I observed many.
Look at that.
They are not interested in that course, but for some reasons they joined the course.
Absolutely, very nice. They have to join a certain course, whether they like it or not, but they don't like the course. No, let's use the word, just a minute, Venkatesh. Motivation. There is no motivation to learn at all. And they are not interested in that subject, but they have to do that subject. Very well said. Yes, Venkatesh, add.
Compulsion, sir.
Sir, I was telling lack of motivation.
That's good. Okay, repeat it. No problem. Say it. Say it. Huh? There can be a lack of motivation.
Yes, sir.
Go on, go on. Go on.
Because of that, learning may not be possible.
Absolutely. Good, good. Because of lack of motivation. And as Sindhu said, it's a subject I don't like, but I have to do that subject. And I can't also, mathematics or physics, oh my goodness, or social studies, history, geography. Oh, I don't like them at all, but I have to do those subjects. And so lack of motivation, Venkatesh also says very well. So, good. So let's conclude this discussion. One of those things, remember, why are we discussing this particular issue related to the teacher and the learner? Why did we talk of teacher issues, teaching issues, learner issues, and learning issues? Remember, many of you will be some kind of administrative officers in your college. It could be NSS, it could be NCC, or it could be any other. It could be a warden, it could be this, that, and so on. Many of you could become administration. You may become administration heads, or you may become in charge of some administrative responsibility in your college. Possible. But when there is an issue, when there is a problem, there are ways in which you can approach this problem. And one of the ways is to see where is the problem. Is it there in number 1, 2, 3, 4 in these ones? Teacher issue, teaching issues, learner issue, or learning issues. In other words, as professionals, we must prepare ourselves to face human situations when we are there in the field. We may have to take decisions. We may have to do some analysis. We may be called upon to solve this problem. It could be any problem, any major problem. And in that context, we must be prepared. And my intention in talking to you about all these factors, number 1, triangulation, number 2, the teacher types, and number 3 now, the issues, teacher-learner issues, is to prepare you for those things. And therefore, to conclude this discussion, let us ask you a question that we usually ask. Is this relevant? Is this important? Is this knowledge important? Anybody can react. Is this information important for us?
Yes, sir. If we know what is the issue, then we can look for solution.
Absolutely. Good. Okay.
That's why knowing the issue is very important.
Very good. Anybody? Anyone else who wants
Sir,
to talk?
as a professionals, we need to improve day by day. So these are the basic things we need to learn first.
Very important, Bindu. Very nice. This is what we call analysis. Analyze a certain issue. The opposite of analysis is synthesis. Synthesis is putting things together. And analysis is spreading things wide, far into all the what we call components. Don't say components. No, it's not components, it's components. So when we analyze, and what we are doing just now is analyzing it. And the other word for analysis is what we call diagnosis. You can either say diagnosis or a diagnosis. What a doctor does. A doctor diagnoses. An agricultural scientist diagnoses. In a chemistry laboratory, they diagnose. Di means two. Diagnose means looking at more than one thing. Two things, three things, four things. And therefore, in other words, splitting something into two and then looking at it is diagnosis. Gnosis comes from the word knowledge. It is related to our word jnana. Gnosis is related to our word jnana, and jnana means knowledge. And so diagnosis is getting jnana after splitting something into two. And therefore, you see, when we diagnose, when we analyze like this, we get to know so many things. Otherwise, see, when we are confronted by a problem, then we begin to say, no, where is the problem? Oh, yeah, that, okay, oh my God. No. As professionals, as Bindu says, as professionals, we must equip ourselves with adequate knowledge. Are we clear so far? Are you clear? Any doubts, any questions on anything that we discussed so far? Good. Okay. I will take it that all of you are fairly clear about whatever we have said so far. I want to introduce you to the next concept. This is a very critical concept which all of us must know. In our profession, pedagogy, teaching, we use two terms which we must understand very clearly. And they are what we call L1 and L2. You'll quickly say, yeah, I have heard about this, I know about this, and so on. L1 and L2. There can be L3, L4, L5 also. What do we mean by that? L1 in our teaching profession always refers to the first language, or what we call mother tongue, or what we call matrubhasha. Matrubhasha. L1 always stands for the first language. Why do we call it a mother tongue or a matrubhasha? Because whatever the language that the child first hears and communicates with, that language, we believe, comes from the mother. Because it's the mother who goes on talking to the child. And the child responds, smiles, looks, eye to eye, all kinds of things and so on. And that is called the first language of communication. L1. In this hall, I have lots of L1. Look at Brahmani. Yeah. Navina. Navina, your L1. Mother tongue.
Kannada, sir.
Kannada. Good. Vijayalakshmi. Good. I have somebody from Haryana. Who is there from Haryana?
Sir, me.
Oh,
Kriti.
अच्छा.
Yes,
तुसी हरियाणवी हो? अरे
yes, sir.
चंगा जी बहुत बड़े चंगा जी. अच्छा, Kriti is from Haryana. Which place in Haryana, Kriti?
Sir, Gurgaon.
Gurgaon. अरे वाह, Gurgaon.
Yes,
Very nice.
Gurgaon.
Excellent. I was in Chandigarh for 2 years, so I know I can
Yeah.
understand a little bit of Punjabi. Not
Yes.
so much Haryani, but Punjabi definitely yes. Anybody else from outside Karnataka who speaks another L1? So your L1, Kriti, is Haryanvi.
Sir, actually, I am from Haryana, but actually, I have not been here. My father kept on getting postings So he was in defense. So my mother language is Hindi.
Hindi. Okay. Okay.
Yeah, Hindi.
Very good. Anybody else who has some other mother language apart from Kannada, which is there widely in this group? Anybody else? With a different L1? Good.
Sir, mine is Telugu, sir.
Yours is Telugu. Oh, Bhavundandi. Thank you very much. Welcome. Welcome to you. I was in Hyderabad, so I can speak a little bit of Telugu. Manchigana vastundi poraledu. Good. Right. Amrita's L1 is Telugu. In other words, L1, yes, Maske. Oh, Seema. Seema ji.
My mother language is Marathi.
Marathi. Arey wah. Excellent. You see how easily. Very nice, Seema ji. Welcome to you. Thank you so much. Very good. Anybody else? Good. Excellent. So we have a Telugu speaker, we have a Hindi speaker and a Marathi speaker, and we have Kannada speakers. Any Tamil? Malayalam? Good. Okay, doesn't matter. L1, remember, always stands for mother tongue. Now, if L1 is first language, what is L2? Very easy answer, second language. Now, when we talk of L1 and L2, why do we talk of L2? Listen very carefully. Don't write. Don't write. Listen. In our profession, teaching, yeah? Yes, Vijayalakshmi. Yeah. Okay. Okay. All of you mute and then listen very carefully. In our profession, we say any language which is not my L1 is my L2. I'll repeat. Now all of you can write down. If you want to write, you can write it down. In our profession, we say L2 and put a dash, say any language which is not my L1 is my L2. Any language which is not my L1 is my L2. Why are we saying this? Why are we talking of L1 and L2? Look at English. We are using English. Perhaps many of you in your classes use English and you teach in English. If you ask a question such as, is English our L1 or our L2? English is not our L1. English is also not the L1 of our learners. Therefore, English is our L2. We are teachers who are using English to teach our subject as L2. Our learners also are learning their subject through an L2 which the teacher uses. For the learners also, English is not their L1. So when I use English in my class, I'm using an L2 to the learners who are also learning it as L2. The English they learn is the English that the teacher uses. The teacher's English is the learner's English. Their English, whatever subject you teach, if you teach in English, their knowledge, their language, their learning is in your language. Now, why are we discussing this L1, L2? The learners come to the class with a certain L1. Now they are in the classroom. The teacher is teaching the subject in L2, English. The learners will have to learn the subject in L2. Teachers L2. Now there can be some problems. If the teacher's L2 is good, then the learner's L2 also will be good. If the teacher's L2 is not satisfactory, then the learner's L2 also will not be satisfactory. The learners learn the teacher's pronunciation. If our pronunciation is good, the learner's pronunciation also will be good in English. If the teacher is a good reader, learners also tend to become good readers. If the teacher is good in writing, the learners also will be good in writing. If the teacher's grammar is satisfactory, then the learner's grammar also will be satisfactory. They know correctness, right use of language. If the teacher uses new words, the learners also begin to use new words. In other words, as professionals, we must remember that learning on the part of the learners heavily depends on the teacher and the teacher's teaching. The learner's learning depends heavily on the teacher's teaching. If the teacher's teaching is satisfactory, then the learner's learning also will be satisfactory. In other words, when we talk of L1 and L2, the teacher also has an L1, learners also have an L1. But the teacher is using L2 English. And why I'm discussing this in such seriousness and in such elaboration is so that we understand that the learner is struggling. As ma'am said, she's teaching in a rural school or a rural college. Why are they struggling? They're struggling because there is a gap between their L1 and L2. And the teacher's L2 and their own L2. There's a big gap. Now, as teachers, we have to remember this. In other words, as teachers, as professionals, whatever subject we are teaching, if we are using English in our teaching, ladies and gentlemen, let me tell you, in addition to knowledge of the subject, your knowledge of the language also has to be very good. And only then your teaching will be successful. Is it important? Is what we said so far important? Have you experienced any issues like this? Is teacher important? Is teacher's professional knowledge important? Anybody? Yeah? Am I going fast? Am I too heavy? Difficult to understand?
No, sir.
Yeah.
No.
Chanuma, tell me more.
Sir, I have a students with L1 knowledge. So they don't even understand even a single word of English.
There you are.
So whenever I go to teach them I'm a political science assistant professor. So if I use even a single word L2, so immediately they raise questions that we cannot understand, madam, what you said. So don't use that. So that kind of, so at that time I'll be in a dilemma. So how to teach them, what to teach them?
I'll come to that.
How to convey them?
How to convey them the message? No problem at all. I'll help you with that. Anybody else? Anyone else who has experience?
Sir, yes, sir.
Yes, Kriti.
Sir, some of the students in my class also they say, and in fact, our college is a college which accepts NRI students as well. So there are students from Nigeria, Mozambique. So 2 or 3 students, not much. But then sometimes I end up teaching because the majority is Hindi speaking. So I end up telling them because they say कि मैम थोड़ा easily समझाओ या फिर हिंदी में बताओ तो फिर then sir I have to speak in both the languages and explain them because at the end of the day students should be able to understand. So this is their request. Yeah.
That's it.
So it's like
That's
that.
very good. Very well said. Very well said. I want you to understand one or two very important things which NEP has also talked about. And therefore, all of you should know about it. And that is, you know, if you know NEP, I hope all of you are familiar with the new education policy 2020. One of the things that it says is that primary education up to class 5 shall be in the mother tongue, L1 of the child. All of you should remember this, that a child, a little child, which has learned its L1, feels very comfortable in the classroom also when the same language is spoken. But there is a difference between, and I want you to listen very carefully and make your notes. There is a difference between home language and school language. Home language and school language. And the child has to make a shift from home language to school language. So this is what we call home school language switch. Now, every child who speaks a certain language at home comes to the school, and if this child uses the same language in the school, then the difference between home and school is that when it learns the communicative language at home, communicative skills at home, the child picks up what we call academic skills in the school. Very important. It could be the same L1 for the child. But at home, because of the environment surrounding the child picks up the communication skills in that language. Whereas when the child comes over to the school, it brings all those home learned skills to the school. And at the school, it learns what we call academic skills. And what are they? For example, they learn to follow teachers' instructions. When the teacher says, open the book on page 17, that is an instruction, an academic activity. This won't happen at home. Mommy doesn't say that at home. Teacher says it. And so the teacher, when the teacher says it, children learn that, okay, they must take out the book, open it on page 17. And they will look at the teacher. What should we do? The teacher gives the next set of instructions. These are what we call academic skills. Open your notebooks. Yeah. Take out your pencils. Yeah. Good. Children take out the pencil. Now, these are things, all things done in the school are what we call academic skills. And if these skills, along with communication skills, are well established in the mother tongue, up to class 5, as NEP says, I'm moving one step further. Listen very carefully. As far as L1 is concerned, learning has taken place. Learning हो गया है. How? The child knows how to learn more of the mother tongue, how to learn more academic skills in the mother tongue, and in other words, learning the language, whether at home or at school, is not a problem for the child at all. Not at all an issue. And now when the child goes into the 6th class and introduce English or German or Sanskrit or Scandinavian or whatever language it is, the child will pick it up like that in no time, 3 months, 6 months. Why? Simply because the child already knows learning. What is learning a language? What does it mean? Oh, it simply means knowing the words. Okay. There is a word here. So far they were using a certain word. For example, they were using the word kitiki in Kannada. No, I was using the word kitiki. And now suddenly there's a kidki or window. Oh. In a language like English, it's called window. Okay. So I will say, I am looking out window. Finished. Okay, good, very good. I see window, I see outside window, I see water, I see tree. Oh, good. My God, child is using English. Transferring the known information, transferring the known skills is no longer a problem, and new language can be learnt in no time. And that is why we say child learning in the mother tongue in the lower classes is most helpful. This also applies to home. If you start using English right from the child, all the time with the child learning. But if you use the mother tongue at home, which most of us do, child picks up the mother tongue. And how does it pick? Oh my God, it can give a small lecture when it is class, for example, 8, class 5, class 6. Oh my God, it can give it. And so on and so forth. So, L1 and L2. There are a few very important things here, namely what we call prior exposure. Keep this in mind. For the child to learn a language, prior exposure is very important. Prior exposure gives number 2, which is previous knowledge. The child learns, and whatever it learns is stored in its memory, and that becomes its previous knowledge. And that is how children, for example, the moment they see somebody who is a relative, they say, oh, Tata has come, Ajji has come. This is part of their storage, recognition. And therefore, see, that is called previous learning. So if they don't know who their grandfather, grandparents are, they'll say, who are these people? I don't know them. Huh? Oh, grandfather. Huh? Yeah, that's it. You know, so prior knowledge gives previous information, and previous information creates new knowledge. Therefore, my dear teachers, why am I spending so much time on this? I'm spending so much time on this because, as ma'am said some time ago, many of you encountered this. Kriti madam also talked about it. What is the solution in such a situation? The solution in such a situation is, whatever class you are teaching at, do not hesitate to use the mother tongue. As Kriti ma'am said, they must understand. For understanding, to use the word comprehension. They must comprehend what you have said. If necessary, explain it in the mother tongue. But, and this but is very important, don't stop there. Retell the whole thing in English. And how do you do it? You use the blackboard or the board, whatever board you meant to have. Use the board, write the key words there. Keep them there. Let them be there for 1 week, no harm. Let them be there. Write the key words and maybe a key sentence. Doesn't matter. Write them and ask children to look at them or say it aloud, read, write it, and speak. In other words, the children are deeply helped by you in understanding, but if it is an English medium education you are at, then expression has to be in English. And therefore, you can't stop with only comprehension. Expression also has to be taught, and therefore, please make sure that at the end of the class, they have left the class after having listened to English. Kriti, this is a technique that all of you can use.
Yes, sir.
Wherever there is a problem, please don't hesitate, because children will feel frustrated otherwise. That you're not helping them. They're telling you, "Arey ma'am, मुझे इतना problem है, लेकिन आप समझते नहीं हैं, क्या करूँ?" And they'll cry. No, it's not good. So it's very important for us as teachers to understand where the problem is. Is it an L1 problem or an L2 problem? And how can I sort it out? I can sort it out by using L1 wherever it is necessary, needed. Only that. Make sure comprehension, but I will immediately substitute it with English. That they must know. Could be simplified. Simple. No problem at all. No, not at all a problem. So L1, L2, I spent a little time because I wanted all of you to know the important difference between home language, which is mother tongue, and college language, which could be English, and so on and so forth. Any observations, any comments? Anybody wants to say anything? Do you agree, disagree? Anybody? Anybody?
Sir?
Yes, Jana.
Sir, we are living in a society where, we are living in a society where the mother language means L1 is overtaken by home language. It may be L2.
It could be. It could be.
How it can be?
No, I mean, like, for example, remember, if the child and the mother, and if the mother talks to the child in English, Bengali, Odia, Malayalam, Kashmiri, that is its L1. So the language that our definition, it's only for definition. Don't worry about it. Sometimes, we have cases like, for example, there is somebody from Karnataka who has married a Bengali and they have a child. And now for the child, it will have L1 Bengali from mother, L1 Kannada from father also, if the father uses Kannada. Or if both parents decide to use English or Hindi, then that becomes the child's L1. So you see, L1 is only a point of definition. How it functions, where it functions, you can decide. So, good, very good, good question. So that now, for example, if there is a class and you have a child, as Kriti said, she has children from Nigeria and so on. They will have their set of problems. So how do you understand? You can immediately understand that, okay, this is an L1 problem or L2 problem or this and that. And you can suggest suitable remedy. Good. Anybody else?